So how about we start with the elevator pitch for the Adventurezator?
What elevator pitch?
You know, you've met someone important in an elevator. You have 30 seconds to show them how good your project is.
Well, the Adventurezator is an adventure sandbox. What's that, you ask? The gameplay is similar to classic point-and-click adventures like Monkey Island. You can create and share your own levels, sort of like in Little Big Planet, but with a look and feel that could be described as a cartoony The Sims. It's like they got together and had a threesome, and the result is the Adventurezator. It's awesome. Hello? Yeah, we got him.
The Adventurezator is a bit like the Matrix. You can't be told what it is, you have to see it for yourself. But we'll do our best to tell you anyway. What really defines the Adventurezator and sets it apart from other adventure games is that its gameplay and its puzzles are emergent. Objects do not know any other objects in the world. They just respond to certain interactions in specific ways, and the other objects provide such interactions. Let's see how that works in an actual level. Here we have two actors you can control. One of them is incarcerated, and your objective here in this level is to break him free. All that was needed from the level designer was to tell the game to specify in the objectives that this character must reach something outside. We have two orcs here guarding the place. Here we already have emergent behavior. Orcs hate humans and will always attack them on sight. No game designer has designated these orcs as guards that should prevent this human from breaking out. That's just how orcs and humans interact. Always. Likewise, skeletons should avoid getting near dogs unprepared because dogs attack skeletons on sight. Bones. One possible solution here would be to get some explosives and blow up a crack at the wall. Getting the explosives would be another sub-puzzle, but it can be made much more interesting. Having a gremlin on this adjacent cell, we can use the gremlin's well-known powers of multiplication and nastification to take out those orcs for us. Of course, you'd also need to find food to give it after midnight, and water to multiply it, and those could be sub-puzzles themselves. But the game designer does not set those rules for the gremlin. That's just how gremlins interact with water and food. It's all about the level design and what and where you put it into the level. If you remember, the only objective in this level was Bob must get near a market tent. Everything else is emergent. What's also great about that approach to puzzles is that it frees you from the tyranny of the crazy game designer that designs puzzles that are so ridiculous that you need to resort to walkthroughs on how to solve them. It was frequent in classic adventure games for you to have an idea that should solve a puzzle, but doesn't. And much to your dismay, you find out later that that was the correct approach. Only you had to get some liquid with the chalice you missed several screens ago in that hard-to-find spot, not with the tankard you already had in your inventory and was just as good for the job. Are you kidding me? A liquid container is a liquid container is a liquid container. In the Adventurezator, the designer doesn't get to decide what you can and can't pick up. You can pick up all the tankards, chalices, and cups you see at the bar, and they all hold liquids. I started developing this game on my free time, creating some assets myself and buying others from the Unity Asset Store. So I already had a working demo, and with this demo, I was able to get some funding, and with that, I was able to hire this team.
No Adventurezator, o jogador ele pode usar qualquer...
In the Adventurezator, the player can use any item that is close to him in order to do something.
Pra ter alguma ação, pra fazer alguma ação.
The only thing that the player needs to do in order for the level to happen is say, okay, this guy needs to get here. Depending on what we put in the world for that to happen, the level will play in some way or another. If I put an obstacle here, a river, a gremlin, an orc, it will play out in completely different ways. There's a lot of 3D work that arises from that because we need every item to be modeled and textured in 3D to allow the player to interact with that item.
Você vai poder criar os teus próprios adventures.
You'll be able to create your own adventures, more or less in the style of classic adventures, but in order for it to work modularly in a way that the user can create it, we had to add some modifications to that formula for that to work.
Adicionar algumas modificações nessa fórmula para ela funcionar.
E isso enriquece bastante o cenário, ele tem muita coisa.
That enriches the scene a lot. It has a lot of stuff spread around the scene that the user can use, take, interact.
Pode.
E texturização. Apesar disso, cada
Although everyone has a well-defined role, we work in a very organic way because the team is small and everyone can participate.
Eu meio que defino.
I kind of define where we want to get. Peter defines what objects we're going to create in order to get there.
Quais são os objetos que a gente vai criar para chegar lá?
eu faço arte conceitual.
I make conceptual art based on the rules that Patricio defines and that Peter adds in game design.
E o Moraes.
And Moray models that. Once modeled, it comes back for me and Sammy to approve. The Adventurezator currently has around $100,000 in funding. It's a really tight budget for what it does, and we have to be constantly evaluating what we can add to the game and what we have to either cut off or postpone until after release. With your help, we'll be able to add more features, more content, and more polish to the game. Every bit counts. We have several reward levels for the backers, including Kickstarter-only t-shirts, DVD sets, posters, and even the option of becoming a level designer and work directly with us to add your levels and campaign to the official game. We have several stretch goals planned, in which we'll add a ton of extra content and object interactions to the core game, and even free complete expansion packs if things go well. This project is quite unique and innovative, and we really want to be able to take it as far as it deserves to get. We hope you'll join us.